Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Sunday Advanced Bible Study night, the 25th of May, 2025. Okay, we now in the book of Micah, and we'll be reading chapters 1 through 6 because there's only 6 chapters in them, so we're gonna just read all 6 of them. Okay, let me eat this. Okay, so with that being said, you can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos that you can look at, get the meat out. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like and subscribe to the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated, okay? This is a non-Messianic channel for those that don't know. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by our Redeemer and Savior, the Lord of hosts, okay? This channel was created to aid and assist Hebrews in these last days that are waking up to their true identity. Shalom and welcome to the channel, and welcome to our Sunday Advanced Bible Study. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, okay, Psalms, and then we have some current events, some need to know information. Then we open it up for some Q&A, comments, and dialogue. Then we go into our reading of the scriptures, which is Micah chapters 1 through 6. Okay, then we'll read the chapter and break it down chapter by chapter. Then we'll pick a scripture out at the end and break that scripture down, and then we'll close out. Okay. Moment of silence is for the Lord of hosts, and all he's doing is bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay. Oh Lord, we come before thee, bow down with great respect for our Redeemer. Oh Lord, you confess through your prophet Isaiah that you would return unto us and that you would pour out your spirit upon us. And you have done those things in great fashion, O Lord. And we have found you within the Holy Scripture. O Lord, behold, I have made the heavens and the earth by thy great power and thy stretched out arm, and there is nothing too hard for thee. And knowing all these things, we eagerly await thy coming, the day in which thou wilt break the yoke of our oppressor. Okay, peace be unto you. So with that being said, I'll read a song. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll read Psalm 92. Okay, it's a psalm or a song for the Sabbath day. Right? Praises for the Lord's goodness. So it is good, it is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings and upon a pastry and upon a harp with a solemn sound. Thou, Lord, hast made me glad through thy works. I will triumph in the works of thy hand. O Lord, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doeth a fool understand this. And when the wicked spring as grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, O Lord, art most high forevermore. For lo, thine enemies, O Lord, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of the unicorn, and I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Mine eye also shall see my desires on my enemies, and mine ears shall hear my desires of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree, and he shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth fruit in the old age, and they shall be fat and flourishing, to show that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. So that was Psalm 92, praises for the Lord's goodness. Okay, I want to shine light on this one verse. Let me get back up here. Yeah, it says, but my horn shall thou exalt, like the horn of a unicorn, and shall be anointed with fresh oil. So if you go to Psalms 132, you'll see the horn he's talking about. Psalms 132, okay. Psalms 132, and I start at verse 16. I will also clothe her priests with salvation, and her saints shall shout aloud for joy. There will I make the horn of David. So we know David dead right here. But it says, there will I make the horn of David the bud. So he's going to resurrect him. I have ordained a lamp for mine anointing. His enemies will I clothe with shame, but upon himself shall his crown flourish. And so from my understanding of this, Psalm 92 is Psalm of David. David wrote the psalm. So when you go to verse 10, it says, I start at 9. For lo, thine enemies, O Lord, for lo, thy enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn, David talking, shall thou exalt, like the horn of a unicorn, and I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Okay. Any comments, questions on that? Okay. Go to some current events.
Mainstream media continues to do what they know to do best, and that is misinform, share information that only follows their narrative and target a country or a leader that is trying to change their circumstance. Just recently, BBC wrote an article. That article's headline reads, Burkina Faso military accused of unaliving over 100 civilians in massacre. Sounds really bad, doesn't it? And it is bad. Even one civilian losing their life is extremely sad. What makes this report suspicious is the timing and what they want to focus on versus what has been going on. As you know, Burkina Faso has been dealing with insurgencies and terrorist groups since 2015. I believe even a little bit before that. That's why the French soldiers went to Burkina Faso to help the people. And as we all know the story, just a few years back, Burkina Faso had to kick out the French military troops because they haven't helped at all. If anything, reports show that ever since the French military arrived there in Burkina Faso, it has gotten worse and worse and worse. So the Burkina Faso government said, wait a minute, you've been here for years and we're not seeing the results. The terrorist groups are multiplying, the issues are worse than they were. So what exactly are you doing here? So you need to leave. We need to figure it out ourselves, or we need to have different allies. That was the proposal, and that's what making France angry at the moment. So they were kicked out of Burkina Faso. So now when Captain Ibrahim Traore, the current leader, the military leader of Burkina Faso, is trying to make moves to change the situation in Burkina Faso. And since he traveled to Russia, Moscow, to meet with President Vladimir Putin, things have gotten worse. The reportings have intensified. And all of a sudden, the world cares about the civilians of Burkina Faso when they've been quiet, when there was a dictator for years in power. But let me read for you what this report alleges. According to this report, at least 130 civilians were unalived by Burkina Faso government forces and allied militia The Human Rights Watch report says the massacre following an operation led by Burkina Faso's special forces resulted in widespread civilian unaliving and displacement of ethnic Fulanis. By the way, this is not the first time this kind of report is coming out. Just a year ago, they were claiming the same thing. They're accusing the Burkinabe government, their military, for unaliving civilians. But there are some reports that are saying it's actually the opposite. And this report states that the deaths, the unaliving was of the jihadists, and they are not the civilians that this report is claiming. And the civilians that they're claiming were unalived were actually terrorist groups. And that is the conflicting report that we're talking about. Unfortunately, in this day and age, we can't just take Western, especially a Western mainstream media word for this story. You have to dig deep and you have to listen to the people of Burkina Faso. What exactly are they saying? The people on the ground, not just the government of Burkina Faso, not just this report, but also what are the people saying. And from what we're seeing, the people are saying this is false, this is a lie, and what has been happening in Burkina Faso has been happening for a long time. They should not be pointing a finger at the Burkina Faso government's military.
Okay, any comments on that? We were just talking about this yesterday, the lies that they put out there. Anybody have any comments on it? Okay, what's up with you, Sarge? Okay,
All right, sir. How you do? I'm glad to be back.
yeah, glad to have you back. Okay,
Thank you, sir. Shalom.
yeah, all right. Okay, and go to the next one.
I don't know if y'all been paying attention to that, but the world's getting crazy about a day. I just started watching the news like today, and I really been, doing my research. Like y'all, we really ain't about to have no food, no nothing. Y'all need to be stocking up ASAP. And no lie, we should have been stocking up 3 years ago. Cause from the looks of it, baby, it's gonna be some tough times. Y'all president and got in their office and they made some crazy decisions. The prices are already spiking. Like, come on now. This ain't gonna only affect the poor or the mid class. It's gonna affect everybody, the rich, everybody that lives in the United States. And I feel like more and more people are moving out of the states because they know what's going on. I ain't even gonna lie, I ain't into politics, I ain't into none of that. But the way that stuff is gonna happen, baby, shelves in different states are already becoming empty. They just had a meeting Monday on Target, Walmart, Home Depot to let them know like they shelves gonna be empty by the summer. Like this is bad. And y'all know by the shelves becoming empty, that means job layoffs. People ain't gonna be able to work. People ain't really gonna be able to have no money in their pocket. Baby, stay prayed up out here. I don't know if y'all been paying. Ricky Bobby, you about to learn today. We gonna go fast, so I hope that your little pea brain can keep up. If you don't think these China tariffs aren't affecting the food supply, let me break it down for you. I'm Sonia Roselli. I own a skincare brand, and I have been importing for the last 10 years, so I know a little bit about supply chains. And when the shit is fucked up, it's fucked up, and it's about to get real fucked up. Here's how the China tariffs will affect our food supply and why we all about to go fucking hungry. So it's a goddamn good thing that we're all on these fucking GLP-1s. First of all, when it comes to the food supply, farmers get most of their fertilizer, pesticides, that kind of shit from China. They get a lot of the equipment from China. If they don't have any of that shit to grow food, guess what? Food supply shortages, no food on the shelves, your fucking bitch ass is gonna be hungry. Second of all, there's this little thing called secondary packaging. And as someone who makes product, let me show you what that means. This is secondary packaging. This is primary packaging. This primary packaging has to go into the secondary packaging. What does that mean? Secondary packaging, most of the shit comes from China. So your frozen meals, the little fucking bag that your peas get put in, that all fucking goes into the secondary packaging that comes from China. So what does that mean? That means if they don't have any fucking secondary packaging to put the food in, the food is going to sit there and rot. And what does that mean? That means your bitch ass is going to go hungry. That means that there's not going to be any fucking food. What else comes from China? The fucking parts that goes on the fucking trucks. That means all of that fucking truck that is taking your fucking frozen yogurt from one part of Texas to the other part of Texas. That means that there is no fucking refrigeration on that truck and they can't get a part from China, that means all your fucking frozen milk and all your fucking frozen pizzas and all your fucking shit is going to be melted, sitting in that Texas fucking heat, fucking rotting. Yeah, it's going to fuck up the supply chain and it's going to fuck up the shit that's on the shelves. So what does that mean? Your bitch ass is going to go hungry again. There ain't no food to sell. What else comes from China? Raw ingredients. That means the ingredients that private label manufacturers here in the States need to make our fucking food. Things like MSG, preservatives, citric acid, all that shit that goes in our food to keep it stable, all comes from China. If we don't have it, guess what? We can't make it. That means your ass is fucking hungry again. Right, Nika? The other thing is you're like, well, we'll just go to Mexico or Canada. They gotta have the same thing. They don't have infinite supply to feed the entire United States and Mexico and their own country, right? So there's gonna be shortages. That means there's gonna be no food on the shelves. That means your bitch ass gonna be hungry. That's right, fucking hungry. It's not just cheap made in China shit. It is every little piece of the supply chain that goes into making food and product and ingredients and farming and planting and everything that we need to fucking keep the food on the table in this country. So it's not that fucking simple, Ricky Bobby. Sometimes someone says China has nothing to do with our food supply. Now you know. Ricky Bobby, oh guys.
It's Saturday, so it's a good day, right? Any of you guys got that friend that everybody, kind of mutually knows, and there's this kind of there is this mutual warning about messing with that person. You know how you say it's that friend. Everybody got that friend. Say, "Man, don't mess with him. Don't mess with him." Or, "Dude, that ain't what you want. Trust me. Don't wake that up." You know that friend? That's China. China is that friend somebody should have warned Trump about. China, that friend somebody should have said, "Dude, that ain't what you want." Y'all know China. Trump been blowing China up. Trump been blowing China phone up. And if they answer, when they have answered, it's being reported that they putting Trump on hold and playing Obama speeches. Yeah. China been putting Trump on hold and playing Obama speeches. China, that friend. China, that friend that he should have been warned about. That he should have been forewarned about. They put the man on hold. And from what has been reported, he blowing their phone up in double-digit figure times a day. Double-digit figures now. He blowing their phone up. And if they answer, they put him on hold and they play Obama speeches. China, my kind of people. They're my kind because they weren't messing with us. We were getting our crap, we was getting our stuff, we were cool. China really wasn't messing with us. When a bully get his just desserts, whoever dishing that bully his just desserts, you gonna get you all right with me? You gonna get that. So, I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep it together. I promise. But China's that one that said, "You go low, we'll meet you below." Y'all have a good one. I ain't gonna even ask you questions.
If you read Chinese newspapers, you're going to get a whole different response about tariffs compared to what Fox News and CNN gives us. According to a Chinese official in Beijing, China has noted the repeated statements from senior U.S. officials expressing their willingness to negotiate with China on tariff issue. It goes on to say that China's position has been consistent and clear, and we will fight to the end if forced to, but our door remains open for talks. The reality of the situation is that both countries are willing to negotiate, but both countries are not willing to be the first country to initiate the conversation, because that shows weakness, and both countries don't want to do that. Regardless of what Fox News or CNN says, that's the reality of the situation. It's not Democrat versus Republican. Why are the Democrats cheering for the Chinese regime Communist Party anyway? It's almost like they're related to that party instead of America, the home of the free, land of the brave, whatever. In the process, stay away from Fox News and CNN. Maybe do your own research. Maybe study what other countries are saying, especially China in this situation.
You won't believe what China just did to President Trump. Let's get into it. China isn't out of hot waters by any means, but China being China, they never play by anyone's rules. Okay, China has just stepped up their game with a brand new slogan. China is now offering easier access into their country. They are saying, we welcome more foreign friends to visit China and enjoy their stay. The upgraded tax refund policy will make shopping in China more enjoyable. We hope that high quality and reasonable price made in China products can find their way into more households and bring benefits to more people. Now, here are some of the rules when visiting China.
China is waiting for you. The NIA has decided to further relax and optimize.
Is your China your next vacation destination? Pay attention.
Key point. Firstly, extended stay duration. The stay duration for foreign nationals eligible for visa-free transit has been extended from the previous 72 hours and 144 hours to 240 hours. In days, you will have more time to explore China. Secondly, extend the list of ports. The total number of ports eligible for the policy has increased from 39 to 60.
Sounds amazing.
If necessary.
But wait, here's the best part. Okay, not only China is giving you easier access to their country, they are doing one of the most hysterical things. They are trolling our press secretary, and it's hilarious.
Okay, any comments on that?
Shalom.
Shalom, everyone. Oh, go ahead.
I've seen the, shelves emptying and, the stores closing and all that. But I was reading in the Half Press, Post, that the food is being high, but like the toilet paper and paper towels and stuff like that is being made here in the U.S. that won't be as high as it was before, like when COVID hit. Shalom.
Okay.
Shalom. The way they're saying it is reality that China has U.S. hostage when it comes to goods and products that they need to continue to keep things going. Like you said before, Brother Leonard, that they shipped all these manufacturing companies overseas. So what we really have here is not enough to continue to supply the U.S. with the foods and the things, accommodations that they need to keep moving forward if China really holds back more than what they're doing now.
Exactly. Anybody else got anything on that? Okay, yeah, I was talking about how this last coup happened in Ivory Coast and how that is going to be a domino effect after that. When you understand who's behind it, who's manipulating it. So we got another one that's in the makings. I just want you to listen to what these young African dudes are saying. And like I was saying, it's not corresponding with what I was talking about yesterday. How we saw how the Most High operates. And he brings people out. So let's just listen to what they're saying.
My name is Baba Yusha. I'm a mechanical student, mechanical engineering student at the Accra Technical University. I just have a few things to say. I just have a few things to say. I just want to talk to our brothers and sisters out here that it's about time that we put religion and tribalism aside and put our color first aside. Definitely. Understand me? Because as we are here right now, I don't know where you're from, you don't know where I'm from, but we share the same common thing. That is our color. You understand me? These people come here, they use our own people yesterday I saw something on TikTok. There is an actor here in Ghana. I don't want to mention his name. He's an actor, a musician, a content creator. And then he's trying to put a project out. I don't know if it's a skit or a movie or something like that. Yeah, and then it was like some people met him 12 a.m. midnight and paid him money to stop what he's doing. What is he doing? He's trying to tell stories about Ibrahim Traore, what Traore is doing. And the title of the movie is Ibrahim Traore, the last African hero. You understand me? And they paid him to stop. And this person who came to meet him, he was speaking fluent Cree, which means they're living amongst us. And this fight, we are not only fighting the Europeans. We are fighting Europeans and we are fighting our fellow Black Africans. Bourgeois. We are fighting Europeans and we are fighting Africans as well. So it's about time we Africans come together and put religion and tribalism aside. I respect whatever you believe in. You are a Muslim. I myself am a Muslim. You are a Christian. You are whatever. Believe in whatever. Africa first. Africa first. I belong to a different religion. No. We are all Africa first.
Africa first is what they're saying.
The same struggles. Yes. We share the same struggles. We are not free till date. No. We are not free. They are still enslaving us. You think slavery is over? No. It's on the mind. It's not over. Never. It's the mind. We are still slaves here, up here. It's about time. See, we can come out here, make noise, blah, 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 and we'll go back home and still see each other as enemies. Yes. You understand me? So if you don't free ourselves here, yes, there is no way we can free ourselves from the chains. No. Thank you very much. Thank you, brother. Africa must unite. Africa must unite. And thank you very much. I'm also Enoch from ARI Ghana chapter. I'm here to also sensitize us on what is going on around us that is killing us softly. In Africa, we have all the resources that makes the world. And I'm talking about the world. Every other continent apart from Africa depends on us. Yes. Mm-hmm. We have all the resources that human needs to survive on this earth. Yes. We are the richest of all. But why must we be begging? We can't go out there and be begging those who are stealing from us. No. It can never happen. Why would you keep your property for someone to come and just find a way to steal it? Through our own leaders. Our so-called leaders who are actually killing us softly. Mm-hmm. They are the people that are enslaving us. And today, we as an African, we are here to fight against such leaders. In fact, any leader that will stand against the well-being of Africa will also be fought. Yes. Boot for a boot. An eye for an eye. In fact, most of these leaders are from our homes. It is time we begin to talk to them. Yes. I know there are some of us here who has access to our president, our ministers, and so on and so forth. Please let us use this opportunity to let them know that Africa is now awakened. Yeah. It is no more the sleeping Africa we know. And so we are here as one people. We are going to fight under one umbrella. If it is war, we will stand with Ibrahim Traore because he has actually set an example for the whole African presidents, let's say leaders, to emulate. In fact, today as I'm talking, within 4 years, now in Burkina, you will go to school from creche to your university and it is free. Are these things that African leaders cannot do? They can do much more better. Please, we are here to fight and fight for our better future. Africa must unite. Africa must be free. Thank you. Africa must be free. Africa must be free. Africa must be free. It's about time Africans take control of the resources that we have. Both human and natural resources. We were here. They brought ships in the name of Jesus to carry our forefathers away, turn them into slaves. We were turned into charters of water. We were turned into housemaids in their homes. They are here in the present form in our politicians. They use our own people to exploit our resources, and the masses of our people are suffering. All we are saying is that the resources must serve us as Africans, and if we must trade with the rest of the world, we trade with them on a fair terms. Yes. They cannot come here and determine for us how much we sell our resources to them. We must define our own educational system, a system that serves our children, not what we import here. Our democracy that we practice on the continent must be defined by us Africans. Yes. We cannot continue practicing a borrowed system that exploits all our resources to serve the West. That must stop. We are here and we are standing with our brother Traore, who has started a course. And let me remind all of us here, the course that the brother has started must involve all of us. Yes. Because if we fail, we will go back and I don't know how far we will have to come again. This is the time, and we are standing with brother Traore to tell the whole of Africa that we must come together. I am not saying because I am from Ghana. I am treated the way I'm treated because of my skin. Yes. It doesn't matter whether you speak English, you speak French, or whatever language you speak, we all face the same challenges. Let's come together to build the Africa that will serve us as Africans. Work with glory. Africa must unite.
They are suffering in Sudan. They are at war in Sudan. And our comrades have still stood with the people of Burkina Faso. Yes. We must recognize we are not free. Comrades from Sudan, we thank you. We thank you for standing even in your time of trouble. We are with you and we will all be free. Africa must unite. Yes, thank you very much, comrades. We continue.
Thank you so much. Like I was saying earlier, we shouldn't just meet today and that should be the end of it. No. So from here, maybe in a month's time, there should be a similar thing that must be even bigger than this, on a bigger platform than this one. Because this is the attitude we have. We're only chanting, and go home and relax. If we don't continue doing it, and gathering the youth, because today, not the African leader that want Africa's development or growth, it is African people. There was a time Africa need the world. Today, you don't need them. Right. In 1960s, we were a little above 100 million. The whole of Africa, yes.
Okay. Any comments on that? What do you think?
Shalom. I really couldn't understand it. This I don't know if it's my phone. I couldn't hardly hear what they were saying. But I got the gist of them all uniting, everybody fighting against those that are trying to take over. That's all I could hear.
Okay, that's what they were saying. Okay. Anybody else got anything?
Shalom. And it's, to me, it's kind of ironic that they're blowing the horn, and that's what it sounds like. They're blowing this horn, and you just mentioned about a horn in 92, Psalms 92. So is there any kind of relation to that, far as their beliefs in the Most High, or this is just their way of bringing attention to their area by that horn blowing?
No, he was saying that put aside religion. That's what they were saying. The majority of them said they putting aside religion because that's how their colonizer came in and hoodwinked them, was through religion. So they're saying it's about Africa and about their resources.
Shalom. So they're putting aside religion, but they're keeping their belief, or they don't have a belief in a higher power.
They said put that aside. They're dealing with their skin color and the African continent that has all the resources. And they're saying that how is they poor, and the rest of the world has got everything they want, but they're getting it off from Africa, but they poor. So they're saying that forget religion and even forget the tribes. It's about uniting and overcoming this wealth gap that's been created because they've been exploited.
Okay. Shalom. So again, I may not be getting it through. They do not, if it seems that, yes, religion, and that's something that we all are getting away from this religious thing, this repeative notion about what the New Testament is about. So, far as they are, they don't look at having a higher being to that they pray to, or they look up and saying that they are. So they're in the middle of not going up high to think of a higher power. They're just self uh, believing that they are the ones who are going to be on that land, and they are the ones who own that land, and they are the ones who's going to get together and continue to keep the land and push everyone out that doesn't belong on the land. And that is their goal, in to get it back as it was prior to everyone invading their land. That's what they're
Exactly.
saying. Okay.
Right, right. And that the first guy said that he's a Muslim. He said, but that don't matter. He putting that aside. So whatever language you are, whatever religion you believe in, whatever, put that aside and unite for Africa. So yeah, that's what they're saying. Okay, anybody else? Which is Pan-Africanism. That's what that is. Okay, we're gonna go to some need to know information. Well, I just did that. Need to know. Okay, I'll open it up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions or comments about anything from the Sabbath, the men's class, men's or women's line? Anybody have any comments, questions about that, or anything they came across? Okay, let me play this, and then I thought this is pretty interesting. Then we'll start reading.
Sick of racial division. I look forward to you joining us at our was on the tail. I thought, did you learn anything about Russian collusion? Did you learn anything about Kevin Kleinsmith forging documents for FISA courts? Did you learn anything about the crooked career of James Comey? Did you learn anything about lying about the laptop, saying it was Russian? Did you learn anything that the FBI had it for a year and didn't tell anybody? Did you learn anything that the FBI partnered with Twitter to suppress the news? Did you learn anything that Anthony Blinken helped round up 51 people to lie their heads off the American people, that the laptop was made in Russia or something? Do they ever say, I'm sorry? We're just supposed to, well, that was then. Now they're telling you the truth. No, you lie, 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 lie. And why do they do all this? Because they hate Donald Trump, because he is the first Republican in my lifetime that is waging a 300.
He got enough nerves to bring up lies and then come back and bring Donald Trump up.
60-degree, 24/7 counter-revolution. What do I mean by that? It's not that I'm going to close the border alone. It's not that I'm going to do with the racist DEI, do away with it. It's not that we're going to try to restore deterrence of law. It's not that I'm going to address the transgender. I'm going to address the mechanisms by all of which this aberration happened. I'm going to look at the court system and lawfare. I'm going to look at the foundations that fund all these people and say they're nonpartisan. I'm going to attack some of them. I'm going to look especially at the universities are getting away with racism, taking foreign money, not declaring it, not respecting the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment. I'm going to look at the whole student loan process. I'm going to look at violence committed against students, dorms, racist, and I'm going to look at the media, NPR, PBS. So he's looking at all the institutions that allow these crazy ideas.
Project 2025. That's what he's trying to make excuse for that.
That don't have any popular support to be mainstream. And that's why they hate him so much. Reagan didn't even do it. Neither the Bushes did it. there's not going to be, I don't know, I don't see any way out. To go back to that Rasmussen poll of the first 100 days, 62% of Hispanics thought Donald Trump was doing a good job and should continue doing so. 39% of African Americans agreed. All the other left-wing polls said Trump is suffering from historic anger. He's not. And the point that I'm making is part of his support is people are sick of racial divisiveness. They're sick of the DEI canon that says, if I'm part of the 30% Marxist binary oppressed victimizers, then by definition, I cannot be an oppressor and I cannot be a victimizer. So now we have this whole explosive idea of race, 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 race. Fannie Willis, remember when she got in a jam? Well, you don't understand, but we use cash all the time. So of course I don't have receipts, even though I hired my boyfriend and we toured the country and on a cruise and we billed the government, my agency. But you're racist for thinking that you don't understand that blacks always pay cash. And then we go to Latita James, a proud black woman. Yes, I said that my father I was married to him, and yes, I tried to claim two different residences to get a tax break, and yes, I lied on a loan application, which I fined Donald Trump $375 million for, but I'm a proud black woman, and there you go. So people, and then we had the Caitlin Clark, Angela Reese little tiff, when Angela Reese kind of hit somebody and knocked her down. So then to stop her from scoring when she was undefended, Caitlin Reese did what they all do. They just slapped her on the arm so she wouldn't score it easy and got a foul. And then Angela Reese then
started chasing her, didn't she?
Well, then she commented they have a real problem if you think about the Women's Basketball Association. The majority of players are black, but with the entrance of Caitlin Clark, the majority of the spectators are now white. And it's not because she's white, it's because she's probably the best woman basketball player in the generation. So she's bringing in enormous revenue. So what are they going to do when all of these PC overseers of these national professional leagues, they always say they're so take a knee, the NFL does it, they're all DI. So what are you going to do when you have a black woman who used a racial slur, white gal? And why did she do that? Because the left feels that victimized people by statute or by de facto can do anything they want. They can never be victimizers. So we have Jasmine Crockett saying, basically she was in an interview and she's saying, brilliant people like me won't ever be nominated. She didn't mention that AOC right now is leading in the polls for her future standard bearer. So she says, they're just looking for a safe white boy, just a safe white boy. What if they had said, what if you, instead of saying that Kamala Harris was a DEI candidate, just said, oh, they just wanted some old black girl, what would happen to you? And then we have that tape that came up from pay more, and then they'll keep them viable. And he has one ace in the hole that no one's ever used. And I think they used it against South Africa, and they might have used it in Turkey and that's a secondary boycott. If you tell the Russians,
you hear this nut bucket? Anybody got any comments on that?
Shalom. That is just a bunch of crock. They won't go backwards to come forward. Just to say white gal. What did they say? Nigger, negro, spook, whatever. They've been calling names, and then now in the present, when someone says something, now it's going to be racist. When racism started with them and is ending with them too. So he's trying to, like you say, he's trying to support that Project 2025 and continue to support President Trump on what he's doing now. Shalom.
Exactly. That's the mind right there that created Project 2025 right there. Okay. Anybody else?
Shalom.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Go ahead, Brother Murphy.
Yeah, Shalom. I mean, it's just so hypocritical, and a blind person can see, and these are
Exactly.
supposed to be highly intelligent people, and I guess everybody else is just stupid.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, like I said, he's gonna say that Caitlin Clark, the best athlete. Come on, man, you delusional, bro. Somebody else had anything?
Yes, shalom. Um, what I had to say is that it's like the rabbit's got the gun now. Things that you're trying to put um, off, you can count how many times he said whoever had did this, did that, and also mentioning about the black, the brown NBA player. Now, far as those little things he said, they have 10 times as much of things going on that they're not putting in the news, that they're not saying. It's like Miss Jasmine Crockett called out um, the Green, Marjorie Green, and
Yeah,
told her how she manipulated the system and how she's really not qualified for that position. She's with the gavel because she does not know the rules. She does not know how it comes, what she should be doing. She just up there banging the gavel. So there's so many things that you point one finger, there's three coming back at you. So by him saying what he said and tried to rev it up, he said that 37% of the black people are still wanting Trump to be in office, thinking he's doing a good thing. The Latinos, they're thinking, but they're out there protesting, those Latinos.
right.
They're out
That's
there
right.
screaming and asking why nobody else is helping us. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's just it's just so ironic that they will allow them to get on, which they can. Just like the man said, look at other news and what's really going on. They're pointing fingers at the U.S., laughing at the U.S., and saying, look how they're so, you know, unprepared, and they're letting this fascist um, president take them down to this point.
Exactly.
Shalom.
Right. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Yeah. So with that being said, we go into our reading. We'll be reading out of Micah, and I had said earlier that it was 6 chapters, there's 7 chapters. So I didn't slid by. So we're gonna read all 7 chapters today, and we'll read a chapter, and then we'll break it down, and we go like that. Okay. Um, Amidra, you want to read chapter 1?
Yes, sir. Shalom.
Okay.
Micah chapter 1. The word of the Lord that came to Micah the Morshite in the days of Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, which he saw concerning Samaria and Jerusalem. Hear, all ye people, hearken, O earth, and all that therein is, and let the Lord God be witness against you, the Lord from his holy temple. For behold, the Lord cometh forth out of his place, and will come down and tread upon the high places of the earth. And the mountains shall be molten under him, and the valleys shall be cleft as wax before the fire, and as the waters that are poured down a steep place. For the transgression of Jacob is all this, and for the sins of the house of Israel. What is the transgression of Jacob? Is it not Samaria? And what are the high places of Judah? Are they not Jerusalem? Therefore, I will make Samaria as an heap of the field, and as plantings of a vineyard. And I will pour down the stones thereof into the valley, and I will discover the foundations thereof. And all the graven images thereof shall be beaten to pieces, and all the hires thereof shall be burned with the fire, and all the idols thereof will I lay desolate. For she gathered it of the hire of an harlot, and they shall return to the hire of a harlot. Therefore I will wail and howl. I will go stripped and naked. I will make a wailing like the dragons, and mourning as the owls. For her wound is incurable, for it is come unto Judah. He is come unto the gate of my people, even to Jerusalem. Declare ye it not at Gath, weep ye not at all. In the house of Aphrah, roll thyself in the dust. Pass ye away, thou inhabitant of Saphir, having thy shame naked. The inhabitant of Zanan came not forth in the morning of Bethazel. He shall receive of you his standing. And the inhabitant of Marah waited carefully for good, but evil came down from the Lord unto the gate of Jerusalem. O thou inhabitant of Lachish, bind the chariot to the swift beast. She is the beginning of the sin to the daughter of Zion, for the transgressions of Israel were found in thee. Therefore shalt thou give presents to Moresheth Gath. The houses of Achzib shall be a lie to the kings of Israel. Yet will I bring an heir unto thee, O inhabitant of Mareshah. He shall come unto Adullam, the glory of Israel. Make thee bald, and poll thee for thy delicate children. Enlarge thy baldness as the eagle, for they are gone into captivity from thee. Shalom. That was Micah chapter 1.
Okay, yeah, like I was saying before, if you notice in chapter verse 1, it says the word of the Lord that came to Micah, Moreshite, in the days of, notice right here, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, right? So if you go back to Isaiah, you hold that page, go to Isaiah right quick. I'm gonna show you something. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 1 says, Isaiah, the vision of Isaiah, the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of the same kings. See that? Uzi, Jotham, and Ahaz. So these Isaiah and Micah existed at the same time. So same time that when Isaiah was prophesying, Micah was. Right? So we know what Isaiah was prophesying that the Babylonians was coming. And not only that, the Assyrians was coming. Because the Babylonians came and took the southern kingdom, and the Assyrians came and took the northern kingdom in captivity. And like I said before, you have to understand that Samaria and the 10 tribes, Ephraim, Samaria, and the northern kingdom is all the same. It's all the same, just using a different word, but it's the same people. So Micah, the Lord sent Micah to tell them that they were going in captivity, and the reason being was because of the northern kingdom was off into Baal worship and all that. They had broke away when they split. They broke away and I can say his name is Jeroboam. Jeroboam made those 2 calves, golden calves, the same way they went back to Egyptian worship. Same way that Aaron did. When Aaron had them at the bottom of the mountain, he made a calf. The cow come out of Egypt. So when they split and Jeroboam took the 10 tribes, he built a temple and then started off worshiping these golden calves. So because of that, Michael was sent to tell them that. Then it started, that same worship started, people in the southern kingdom started doing it. So that's what Michael was telling them. He says that, well, you think that God don't see it, but the same thing that the northern kingdom is doing, and they going into captivity, it's at your doors, at the gates of Jerusalem. Y'all doing it. Okay? Let me see if I can find it right quick. Yeah, 12. For the inhabitants of Mikah waited carefully for good, but evil came down from the Lord unto the gates of Jerusalem. Okay. Chapter 2. You want to read chapter 2, Joyce?
Yes, sir. Chapter 2, Micah. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is the power of their hand. And they covet fields, take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go hauntingly, for this time is evil. In that day shall one take up a parable against you, and lament with a doleful lamentation, and say, we be utterly spoiled. He hath changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he hath divided our fields. Therefore thou shalt have none that shall cast a cord by lot in the congregation of the Lord. Prophesy ye not, say they to them that prophesy. They shall not prophesy to them that they shall not take shame. O thou that art named the house of Jacob, is the spirit of the Lord straitened? Are these his doings? Do not my words do good to him that walketh uprightly? Even of late my people is risen up as enemy. Ye pull off the robe with the garment from them that pass by securely as men averse from war. The women of my people have ye cast out from their pleasant houses. From their children have ye taken away my glory forever. Arise ye, and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. Excuse me. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink, he shall even be the prophet of this people. I will surely assemble, O Jacob, all of thee. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel. I will put them together as the sheep of Borah, as the flock in the midst of their fold. They shall make great noise by reason of the multitude of men. The breaker is come up before them. They have broken up and have passed through the gate and are gone out by it. And their king shall pass before them, and the Lord on the head of them. Micah chapter 2.
Okay. You got any comments on that?
No, sir, not at this time.
Okay. Yeah, so we see right here that I want this time right on this right here because it's 12. I will surely assemble, O ye Jacob, all of thee, and I will surely gather the remnant of Israel, and I will put them together as sheep. So go to Isaiah 53. Right? I will gather them together as the sheep of Bosra. So when you understand what Bosra is, that's a city in Edom. We got Timu and Bosra. So you go to Genesis 36, right quick. Like he said, they started naming like Cain did. Cain firstborn son was named Enoch, and he named the city after the name of his son, Enoch, the city of Enoch. So they're doing the same thing right here. And I'm showing you how those giants, the names you see, Mamre and all that, those are cities named after these giants. So you go to Genesis chapter 36. These are the descendants of Esau, right? Verse 1 says, these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of the Canaan. Ada, the daughter of Edom the Hittite, and Hua, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zebulun the Hittite, and Bismarck, Ishmael's daughter, and Bismarck, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebat, and Ada bore unto Esau Eliphaz, and Basmah bore unto Boru, and Aviah bore Joash by Korah, and these are the sons of Esau who were born unto him in the land of Canaan. But Esau took wives and sons and his daughters. And get down here. So, okay. Verse 10. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, son of Adar, the wife of Esau, Aru, and then then 11, and sons of Eliphaz, Teman, or Teman. So you see Teman a lot in the scriptures. So he's got a son named Teman, but it's a city named Teman. Omar, Zephno, we talked about him the other day, and Gat and Kisnaz and Teman. Tina was a concubine. We can keep going. Well, anyway, so one of these, we see Tima right there, but if these are cities in the land of Israel. I'll go to another place like this. To Obadiah. Go to the book of Obadiah right quick. Yes. The book of Obadiah, you'll see where it says in chapter, or start at verse 5, if thieves came to thee robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? Or grape gatherers came unto thee, would they not have some, or leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau? So Esau, the one that came in and robbed the Israelites, right? So it says, how are the things of Esau sought out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought them even to the borders. The men that are at peace with thee have received thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a womb unto thee. There is none understanding in thee. Then here go the Lord talking. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, right? So they're going to eat them. And the understanding out of the mount of Esau, and the mighty men of Timon. See that? Shall be dismayed to the end. Every one of the mount of Esau shall be cut off. So these are that's a city within Esau. And then let me get one more verse. Go to I think it's Isaiah 63. Isaiah 63 says, yeah, Isaiah 63. So this Isaiah 63. Who is this that cometh from Edom, right? They go Edom. With dyed garments from Basra. They go Basra. So Timon and Basra are cities inside of in the nation of Esau, Edom. So we go back to where I was at, and you'll see in verse 12 it says, I will surely assemble Jacob, all of thee, and I will surely gather the remnant of Israel, and I will put them together as sheep of Basra. So he's as the flocks in the midst of their fold. They shall make great noise by reason of the multitude of men. So, like I was saying, that's Basra is a city within it was in Edom, but not only that, it's just like with the Amalekites, they were known for the animals, their livestock. I guess I don't know if they was doing something to them or whatever, but they was real healthy. But the Most High told them not to. When he went to Amalek, he said kill everything. But Saul got there and kept the sheep because of that. Same thing with these sheep right here. But my point is that, like I said, Most High is talking about. He's not talking about one man when you go to Isaiah 53, because he brings up sheep. So sheep is plural, so he's talking about the nation of Israel as the sheep. But anyway, we go to chapter 3. Okay. AJ, you want to read chapter 3?
Shalom, yes, sir.
Yeah, you can read 3 and 4. You can read 3 and 4. I'll read the rest of it.
Right, yes, sir. I got you. And my subtitle, Brother Leonard, says Judgment on Unjust Leaders. And verse 1 says, and I said, hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment, who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off the skin from off them and their flesh from off their bones, who also eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin from off them, and they break their bones and chop them in pieces, as for the pot and as flesh within the cauldron. Then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. Thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that make my people error, that bite with their teeth and cry, peace, and he that putteth not into their mouths, they even prepare war against them. Therefore, night shall be unto you, that you shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that you shall not divine, and the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them. Then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded. Yea, they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer of God. Zion shall be plowed. Verse 8, but truly I am full of power by the Spirit of the Lord, and of judgment, and of might, to declare unto Jacob his transgression, and to Israel his sin. Hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob, and princes of the house of Israel, that abhor judgment and pervert all equity. They build up Zion with blood, and Jerusalem with iniquity. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, is it not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us. Therefore shall Zion, for your sake, be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountains, and the mountain of the house as the high places of the forest. And shalom, Brother Leonard. That's chapter 3.
Yeah, so we can see right here, like I said, Michael is prophesying that the Chaldeans is coming just like Isaiah is. But I got something else that I want to shine light on. In it's verse 5, it says, thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets, right? So it's the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry, peace, and he that putteth not into their mouths, they even prepare war against him. So 6, therefore, here you go right here, this is the point I want to make. And this big. So 6 says, therefore night shall be unto you. So that's because the prophets is wicked as hell. They're not getting the proper understanding of the scriptures, and they're not getting led right. So he said, therefore night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision. So darkness, when he's talking about darkness, it means they ain't dealing with the creator. They ain't dealing with these angels. So it says, therefore night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine, and the sun shall go down over the prophets. See that? And they shall be dark over them. Then shall the seers be ashamed, because they not getting nothing from heaven, so they're ashamed, and the diviners confounded. Yea, they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer from God. So that's what he means when we talk about darkness. So with that understanding, we're going to go to Isaiah 9 and 6. This is one of the scriptures they plucked out and said it was JC. But with the understanding I just showed you, I want to show you something. So we in Isaiah 9 and 6. Isaiah 9 and 6. It's one of those verses. They say this is a prophecy of JC. So chapter 9, Isaiah verse 6. For unto us a child is born, a son is given. The government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the government of his of the increase of his government, peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts perform. Says that's Christ. In 3 verses right there was prophesying to JC. But back to what I just told you, we're going to start in verse 1. Nevertheless, dimness, starting at verse 1. Nevertheless, dimness shall be, such as was in vexation when it was at first. He lightly afflicted the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, and afterwards did more grievously afflict her by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan, in the Galilee of the nations. The people that walked in darkness, see that? Back to what I just explained to you. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light, and they that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them have the light shine. So what is he talking about? Go back to what I showed you in the beginning of Isaiah chapter 1. It says the vision of Isaiah chapter 1 says, verse 1, the vision of Isaiah, the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah, right? Judah. It saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of who's these kings in Israel? Uzi, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah. So Uzi wicked as hell, Jotham wicked, Ahaz wicked. So it's darkness. And then came Hezekiah, the light. All these men is out of David lineage. So when you go back over here, that's what this 9 and 6 is talking about. It's talking about Hezekiah. It says, verse 2, the people that it's Isaiah 9 and 2. The people that walk in darkness, that's Uzi, Jotham, and Ahaz. They wicked as hell. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. Now Hezekiah come. Ahaz just died. And then Prince of Peace, which is Hezekiah, is born. Hezekiah was took over after Ahaz died. And Hezekiah did that which was right. So that's what that verse is saying. It says in verse 2, 9 and 2, Isaiah 9 and 2, the people that walked in darkness have seen a great light, right? They that dwell in the land of shadow of death, upon them have a light shine. Hezekiah came on scene. Most High brought Hezekiah, right? Part of the covenant that he got with David. He's gonna bring some wicked sons gonna come, but he always gonna bring a one like David. That's the light. And then, so when you see that that's Hezekiah in verse 2, it said, the light has shined, thou hast multiplied the nations, and has not increased joy. They joy before they come into the joy of in harvest, and a man rejoices when they divide the spoil. But thou hast broken the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder. The rod of his oppressors is in the day of Midian. For every battle of a warrior is with confused noise, and the garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with the burning and the fuel of fire. Then Hezekiah right here. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. The government shall be upon his shoulders, because he's out of David lineage. It's Hezekiah. And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace, just like Solomon was. Solomon was a Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government, of Hezekiah's government, and peace, there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even and forever. Then the Lord of hosts is the one behind it, because he's the one that got the covenant with David. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform it. So he's the one brought it about. brought Hezekiah to the throne. Okay. You're gonna read chapter 4?
Yes, sir. Micah chapter 4, the mountain of the Lord. But in the days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow into it, and many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. But they shall sit, every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts have spoken it. For all people will walk, everyone in the name of his God, and we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever. In that day, saith the Lord, will I assemble her that halteth, and I will gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted. And I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast afar off a strong nation. And the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth, even forever. And thou, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, unto thee shall it come, even the first dominion, the kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem. Now, why doest thou cry out aloud? Is there no king in thee? Is thy counselor perished? For pangs have taken thee as a woman in travail. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. Now also many nations are gathered against thee that say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. But they know not the thoughts of the Lord, neither understand they his counsel. For he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hoofs brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. Shalom, in the chapter 4.
Okay, got any comments on that?
Oh, Brother Leonard, can you break down the end of verse 13 when it's saying, and I will consecrate their gain unto the Lord and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth?
Right, so it's the same when you understand how you operate. When they came out of Egypt, right? They spoiled the Egyptians, right?
Right, yes, sir.
And they had all that gold, and we know they needed the gold because they had to use it when they built the temple. So the same thing when they left Babylon, right? Didn't Cyrus come out there and gave them all that gold?
Right.
Right. So right here, this is when you go to verse 8. It says, "Thou, O tower of the flock." You got to go back to his covenant with David, right? He says, "O tower of the flock." We just talked earlier that Micah and Isaiah was prophesying that they were going into captivity in Babylon. So here it is, right here. He says in verse 8, "Thou tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, unto thee shall they come." They in captivity, they're going into captivity, right? Even the first dominion, that's David. The kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem. That's the remnant. The daughter of Jerusalem is the remnant that's in Babylon. Then it says, "Or now, why do thy cries aloud? Is there no king in thee? He followed David lineage. It's a king in that with them, right? Is there no king in thee? Is thy counselor parish? He's saying, am I capable of doing it? He the counselor. Am I not capable of doing it? For pains have taken hold of thee as a woman in travail. Same thing in last days. Remember Isaiah 66? The woman started travailing and brought forth. Same thing right
Right.
here.
Yes, sir.
So
Mm-hmm.
the woman is Israel. They in Babylon. And it's time to come back. So the woman take pains. Pains that came onto the woman. Then 10 is your answer. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. Now shalt thou go forth out of the city, out of Jerusalem, right? And thou shalt go into the field, back to Babylon. And thou shalt go even to Babylon. See, the field is Babylon. Even to Babylon. There shall thou be delivered. They got delivered out of Babylon. There shall the Lord redeem thee from the hands of thy enemies when Cyrus came. Okay, see that?
Right. Yes, sir.
But they know not the thoughts of the Lord, neither understand thy his counsel, for he shall gather them to that guy out of Babylon as cheese into a floor. Then 13 tells you he do the same thing he did in Egypt, right here. Arise and thrash, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thy horn iron, and I will make thy hoofs brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many nations, and I will consecrate their gain. That's the spoils. Consecrate their gain even unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. You see?
Yes, sir. That was plain.
Okay? Yeah. So he said, you don't do nothing no different. That's why I keep on shining the light on what we looking at now in Africa. Because it ain't going on like this. They talking about something else. They not once is they bringing up the Lord of hosts. Or nothing, but nothing got to do with heaven. Okay? So just for GP, let me go right there right quick and show you what I'm talking about. Go to Isaiah 66. You see the exact same thing what we just read. Isaiah 66. It says, start at verse 5. It says, hear the word of the Lord, ye that tremble at his word, your brethren that hated you, that cast you out. So right here, just the last days, right here. What we was just reading, they was in captivity in Babylon. We're in captivity now. We've been scattered over the whole world. So he says, hear the word of the Lord, ye that tremble at his word, your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake, Esau, say, let the Lord be glorified, but he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed. So when he come back, they're going to be ashamed. All the lies they told with JC and all that, but when he come back, they're going to be ashamed. 6, a voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of the Lord that renders recompense to his enemies before she travailed. Same thing over there. The woman in Babylon, she started travailing. So it says, before she travailed, she brought forth. Before pains came, she was delivered of a man child, as David, who have heard such a thing, who have seen such a thing. Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day, or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. So same thing. You see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Anybody else got any comments on that? I'm gonna read chapter 5, 6, and 7. So it says, deliverers from Bethlehem. Esom, deliverers from Babylon, from Bethlehem, right? Now gather thyself in troops, O daughter of troops. He have laid siege against us. They shall smite the judge of Israel with a rod upon the cheek. But thou, O Bethlehem Euphrates, I talked about this the other day. Bethlehem Euphrates, this ain't the same Bethlehem with the story of JC. Okay. But thou, Bethlehem Euphrates, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth to me to be ruler in Israel, whose going forth have been from old. That's David. So they added this everlasting on there to make it look like it's JC. But it says, Verse 2. But thou, Bethlehem Euphrates, that's where David from, and Jesse, okay, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me. That is to be ruler in Israel, who going forth have been from old, that's David. Therefore will he give them up until the time that she which travaileth have brought forth. Then the remnant of his brethren shall return unto the children of Israel, and he shall stand and feed. Same in Isaiah 50, chapter 11. And he shall stand and feed in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord, his God, and they shall abide, or for now shall he be great unto the ends of the earth. And this man, David, shall be the peace. And when the Assyrians shall come into our land, and when he shall tread in our palaces, then shall we raise against him 7 shepherds, even and 8 principal men, and they shall waste the land of Assyria with the sword, and the land of Nimrod in the entrances thereof. Thus shall they deliver us from the Assyrian when he cometh into our land, and when he treadeth within our borders. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, as the dew from the Lord, as the shadow showers upon the grass, that there tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles, in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he goeth through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none delivereth. Thine hand shall be lifted up upon thine adversaries, and all thy enemies shall be cut off. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that I will cut off thy horses out of the midst of thee, and I will destroy thy chariots, and I will cut off the cities of thy land, and throw down all thy strongholds, and I will cut off witchcraft out of thy hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee, and thou shalt no more worship the works of thy hands. And I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee, and so will I destroy thy cities, and I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. Okay, that was chapter 5. Any comments, questions? Verse chapter 6, the Lord's contention with Israel. Hear ye now what the Lord saith. Arise, contend thou before the mountains, and let the hills hear thy voice. Hear ye, O mountains, the Lord's controversy, and ye strong foundation of the earth, for the Lord have a controversy with his people, and he was pleased with Israel. O my people, what have I done unto thee, and wherein have I wearied thee? Testify against me, for I brought thee up out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed thee out of the house of servants. And I sent before thee Moses and Aaron and Miriam. So let me just break this down right quick. He says, for I brought you up out of Egypt, right? I brought thee up out of Egypt, and I redeemed thee of the house of servants. So what are you talking about? I told you he gave those 7 nations of giants, and even Ham is a 6-day man, but he gave those giants to Abraham. When Abraham did the covenant, the circumcision, and he gave him the land of Israel, he gave all the giants to them. That's it. Let's look at this right here. Genesis chapter 15. Genesis chapter 15. Okay, the last 4 verses, 18, 19, 20, 21. So Abraham got circumcised and circumcised his boys, right? And it says the Lord covenant with Abraham. Verse 18. In the same day, the Lord made a covenant. The same day Abraham got circumcised, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river of the river Euphrates. Then here you go the nations. These people came with it. The Kenites, Kezites, the Kobites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Rephaim, the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Gershite, the Jebusite, all of them. So that's why he's saying over here, servants. Let me get it. In verse 4, chapter 6, verse 4, he says, for I brought thee up out of Egypt, out of the land of Egypt, and I redeemed thee out of the house of servants. They Israel servants. Israel servants had them in bondage. Same people that he had gave over to Abraham had them in bondage. So he says, for I brought thee up out of the land of Egypt and redeemed thee out of the house of servants. And I sent before thee Moses and Aaron and Miriam, O my people, remember now what Balak, king of Moab, consulted, and what Balaam, the son of Peor, answered him from Shittim unto Gilgal, that ye may know the righteousness of the Lord. Did that ring a bell, AJ?
Shalom. Maybe I'm not seeing it yet, Brother Leonard.
I'm going to read it again. Verse 5. O my people, remember now what Balak, king of Moab, consulted, and what Balaam, the son of Peor, answered him from Shittim unto Gilgal, that ye may know the righteousness of the Lord. We just talked about it the other day. Remember what he told him? Not now. I should see him not now, right?
Oh, in Numbers. Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. He said, I'm gonna see, you're not gonna see him, not now, but he's gonna come. It's David. So this is the righteousness of the Lord. Read it again. O my people, remember now what Balak, right? That was Balak and Balaam in Numbers, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
Balak, king of Moab, he wanted Balaam to curse to Israel. He says, Balak, king of Moab, consulted, and what Balaam, son of Peor, answered him. So that's the prophecy. Answered him from Shittim unto Gilgal, that ye may know the righteousness of the Lord. The righteousness of the Lord is David and his house. Okay. So anyway, 6. Wherewith shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings or with calves of a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams or with 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin for my soul? He hath showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doeth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with my God. So here go another one right here to kill JC. So this is what the Canaanites and all of them was doing, these other people. Verse 6, wherewith shall I come before the Lord? So he asking, what do the Lord require of me? Wherewith shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him? He asking what to do. What is required? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves of a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with 1,000 rams or with 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn? See that? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgressions, the fruit of my body, for the sin of my soul? So he asking, do I do a son, my firstborn son? Do I get him up for that? Right? JC the firstborn. That's what they tell us. So look at this, what he say. Then he tell him, like I was saying before, go to Tory to what they got going on in Africa. He has showed thee. See? When you know the scriptures, he showed you, oh man, what is good. That ain't good. Getting your son up, dying on a cross, that ain't good. See that? He says, I have showed thee, oh man, what is good, and what doeth the Lord require of thee. But to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God, not no get on son up. You see that?
Right, yes, sir.
Is I'm reading that wrong? Okay. Yeah, so 9, the Lord's voice crieth unto the city, and the man of wisdom shall see the name. Hear ye the rod, and who have appointed it. Or there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked, and the scant measure that is abominable. Shall I count them pure with the wicked balances, and with the bag of deceitful weights? For the rich man thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is full of deceit in their mouth. Therefore also will I make thee sick in smiting thee, in making thee desolate because of thy sin. Thou shalt eat, but not be satisfied, and thy casting down shall be in the midst of thee, and thou shalt take hold, but shall not deliver, and that which thou deliverest will I give up to the sword. Thou shalt sow, but thou shalt not reap, and thou shalt tread the olives, but thou shalt not anoint thee with oil, and sweet wine, but thou shalt not drink wine. For the statutes of Omer are kept, and all the works of the house of Ahab, and ye walk in their counsel, that I should make thee a desolation, and the inhabitants thereof a hissing. Therefore ye shall bear the reproach of my people. So we see right here, this is why they went into captivity. Like I said, Michael is telling them, Michael, when you got to understand where Michael existed, he existed at the same time Hosea, and he's prophesying to the northern kingdom, just like Isaiah is prophesying to the southern kingdom. So he tell them why they're going into captivity. In verse 15, thou shalt sow, but shall not reap. Thou shalt tread thy olive, but thou shalt not anoint thee with oil, and sweet wine, but thou shalt not drink wine. For the statutes of Omar. So you got to go back to this guy that one of the wicked kings in Israel. I think he's tied to I can't think of his name. It's Hezekiah's son. I think it's Hezekiah's daddy. And this boy here, Omar, which is out of David, man, out of let me see, yeah, he's out of Jeroboam lineage, right? Kept the works of the house of Ahab. Everybody should know who Ahab is. And he walked in their counsel, which is wicked. They were Baal worship. That I should make thee a desolation. Excuse me. And the inhabitants thereof a hissing. Therefore ye shall bear the reproach of my people. Okay. So the last chapter, chapter 7, the moral sin of Israel, right? Woe is me, for I am as when they have gathered the summer fruit, and the grapes gleaming of the vintage. There is no cluster to eat. My soul desires the first ripe fruit. The good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man's brother with a net. They that do evil with both hands earnestly. The prince acteth, and the judge acteth for a reward. And the great man, he uttereth his mischief desire, so they wrap it up. The best of them is as a briar, and the most upright is sharper than a thorn's hedge. The day of thy watchman and thy visitation cometh. Now shall be their perplexity. Trust ye not in a friend. Put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in the bosom. For the son dishonoreth the father, the daughter rises up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. Therefore, I will look into the Lord, and I will wait for the good of my salvation. My God will hear me. Rejoice not against me, O my enemies. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, they go to darkness, the Lord shall be a light unto me. I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which saith unto me, Where is the Lord thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her. None shall she be trodden down as the mirror of the street. In the day that walls are to be built, in that day shall the decree be far removed. In that day also he shall come even to thee from Assyria, and from the fortified cities, and from the fortresses, even to the river, and from the river to the sea, and from the mountain to mountain. Notwithstanding, the land shall be desolate because of them that dwell therein, for the fruit of their doings. Feed thy people with thy rod, the flock of thy heritage, which dwelleth solitarily in the woods, in the midst of Carmel. Let them feed in Bashan and Gilead as in the days of old, according to the days of thy coming out of the land of Egypt, when I show unto him marvelous things. The nations shall see and be confounded at their might, and they shall lay their hands upon their mouths, and their eyes shall be deaf, and they shall lick up the dust like a serpent, and they shall move out of their holes like worms of the earth, and they shall be afraid of the Lord our God, and shall fear because of thee. Who is God who is a God likened unto thee, that pardoneth iniquity and passeth by the transgressions of the remnant of his heritage? He restraineth not his anger forever, because he delighteth in mercy. He will turn again, he have compassion upon us, and he will subdue our iniquity, and thou wilt cast all their sin into the depths of the sea, and thou wilt perform the truth of Jacob, the truth to Jacob, and the mercy of Abraham, which thou hast sworn unto our fathers from the days of old. Okay? So like I said before, you can see right here that, like when I say, once the information been lined up, that Hosea is talking about, Micah is talking about the same thing Isaiah said. They're going into captivity in Babylon and Assyria, and then he's going to deliver them. And that's exactly what happened right here. They went into captivity in Babylon, and then they was delivered. Okay, it's pretty much, you can see where I'm always going to Daniel 9:25 when it says that the Messiah, we know that was Zerubbabel, right? We can see it again right here in I'm gonna start at verse 13. Micah 6, 7, and 13. Notwithstanding, the land shall be desolate. See, that's because they in Babylon, so the land is desolate. Notwithstanding, the land shall be desolate because of them that dwell therein, for the fruit of their doing. So he sent them to Babylon. Feed thy people with thy rod, the flock of thine heritage, which thou dwellest solitary in the woods. They in Babylon, in the midst of Carmel. Let them feed in Bashan and Gilead as in the days of old, according to the days of thy coming out of the land of Egypt. So get ready, they're gonna come out of Babylon. So according to the days of thy coming out of the land of Egypt, will I show unto him marvelous things. The nations shall see, right, and be confounded at all their might. They shall lay their hands upon their mouths, and their eyes shall be deaf. They shall lick up the dust like the serpent. They shall move out of their holes like worms of the earth, and they shall be afraid of the Lord our God, and shall fear because of thee. Who is God like unto thee? That partner, here go, let's kill JC. That partner of iniquity. See that? So I told you, so they got a redeemer in the New Testament, and they got a redeemer right here. This is how our redeemer work right here, right? When it comes to sin, he is a God what God is likened unto thee, that pardon of sin, iniquity, and passeth by the transgressions of the remnant of his heritage. that he retaineth not the anger forever, because he delighteth in mercy. He will turn again. He will have compassion upon us, and he will subdue our iniquities. See that? Check it out. He will subdue our iniquities, and thou will cast all out their sins into the depths of the sea. See that? Not hanging on a cross and get beat with a cat of tail nine, a cat of I can't say that word. Cat of I say it all the time. Now I'm lost. But anyways, a cat of a tail of I can't say that. But anyway, it says he will turn again, and he will have compassion upon us, and he will subdue our iniquities, and thou will cast all their sin, Israel. Isaiah 53. Their sins into the depths of the sea. Thou will perform the truth to Jacob, and the mercy to Abraham, which thou hast sworn unto our fathers, like I was saying before, from the days of old. Going back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, anybody have any questions, comments?
Shalom. They don't talk about Micah's father. A lot of them don't. We don't find where the minor prophets have pretty much a history. Is there somewhere where you can look it up, like Amos, Obadiah, Nah, and the rest of the minor prophets, like their lineage?
Well, they didn't hear those books, but like I was saying, in the Apocrypha, I was showing how that I'm trying to find. I'm looking to see if I can see the book right around here so we're close. But in the Apocrypha, I got the Apocrypha that's so it tells you that all those men, those they call them minor prophets. They just bunch them together, but they don't have them. They're not. The book's not in line, and so that's what throw everybody off. But it tells you in the Apocrypha that all those men came out of Babylon with they all came out of Babylon with Zerubbabel.
Yes, sir.
You got your Apocrypha there, AJ?
Right, yes, sir.
You know what verse I'm talking about?
Was that in second Esdras?
Yeah, second Ezra when it says, look at the men coming from the east. Then it named all the same names of the same men that all minor prophets.
Right, yes, sir. I think I can. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I got it highlighted in my book, so that I don't see it over here nowhere. But yeah, so like I said, they hear those. They're not. I mean, you gotta be just searching for them. That's if they didn't release them, but they don't want you to know. They don't want you to get the information that those men are talking about, because that's what I was just talking about when he said that in the days are old. Like I said, you get the book of Nathan, you get the book of those three prophets that was around David. They're gonna tell you exactly how things was going. You're able to rightly divide from what they're telling you. They supposedly saying what happened during the time of Jesus, and you look at what these prophets are saying during the time of David. You can see it don't add up. I think it's Gad, Samuel, and Nathan that was around David, and you can't find them books.
I see in second Ezra, AJ, in chapter 1, going to verse 38, and it says, now, O Father, behold with glory, and see the people that come from
Yeah,
the east, to whom I
that's it.
will give for leaders, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Hosea, Amos, and Micah,
There you go.
Joel, Obadiah, Jonah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi, which is also called the messenger of the Lord.
So that's all them all
Yeah.
those men came out of Babylon. They was in captivity in Babylon. They came out with Zerubbabel. So like I said, there's a whole other story. Over here, they told you that the Messiah in Daniel 9:25 is JC. So you believe in that. You don't see none of that. When you come across it, it's not going to register, because you don't have no idea. But that's the same men. All the men came out of. They was in captivity with Zerubbabel when he came out. When you go to Zechariah 9:9, the king is coming to you lowly riding upon an ass, all in with him. He ain't talking about JC and Palm Sunday. He's talking about that right there. Okay, anybody else got anything else before we go?
Yes, shalom. Yes, Brother Leonard, I caught that when he was saying about not sacrificing sons or nothing, just walk humbly and
Yeah.
everything. But all the other things you have pointed out, that struck me. I understand that.
Okay. Yeah, so this all like I said. Once you get on the right track and you can see things are not corresponding to what they're telling you in the New Testament. That he creator and what the prophet's telling you is some totally is opposite. The man just asked him what he would expect. Do he have to sacrifice his firstborn son? And he said no. They already told you. They told you in the Torah what to do. It ain't got nothing to do with no firstborn son, no man shedding his blood. Okay.
And Brother Leonard, Shalom, I just noticed that it was 12 minor prophets.
Right. Exactly.
I never noticed that. So I guess they took that right and made the disciples.
Right. And then, like I was saying about notice how they talk about the prophets. Jesus sent the apostles out 2 by 2. Right.
Right. Yes, sir.
So we see right here, you got Isaiah and Michael. They prophesied at the same time. 2. And then when Zerubbabel came back from Babylon, Haggai and Zechariah was prophesying while they was building the temple. So the prophets came in 2. That's where they're getting it from. But we don't know none of that. So we thinking that there's something that just it can't just JC doing. But they're getting all that from the Old Testament. Yeah. Anybody else got anything before we go? Anybody got a
Shalom.
scripture? Okay.
Yes, sir. Shalom.
Shalom, Brother Leonard.
Oh, go ahead, Sister Michelle.
Shalom, Brother Leonard. Last Sunday, when you was reading the 2 chapters that we read out of the 2nd book of Ezra, you kind of covered that, because I didn't know that about those 2 prophets that was reigning at the same time. So that's the same thing with Micah and Isaiah. I did not know that, but the more we learn about the scriptures and how they seem to duplicate everything we do, but not really understanding the reason behind it. And like AJ was saying, mentioning these 12 minor prophets, it really explained a lot to me. But I wanted to pick a scripture out of Amos chapter 9, sir, and read verses 9 through 12, please. Amos 9:9. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. 10. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. 12. That they may possess the remnant of Edom, and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this. That was Amos verses 9 through 12, sir.
Right. So like I was saying, this when you understand how they use Hebrew idioms and all that. So the same thing is being said, and that you just read, the same thing is being said and being conveyed in Isaiah 44. I'm always reading 1 through 5. You want to read that? Saying the same thing.
Okay, Isaiah 44.
Yeah, 1 through 5. I'm always reading it. That's where we are right now. Both of those prophecies are happening right now.
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 44, verse 1. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus saith the Lord that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou, Jezreel, whom I have chosen, for I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thine offspring. 4. And they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the watercourse. One shall say, I am the Lord's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord, and surname himself by the name of Israel.
So it's the same thing. He's just saying over there, you're gonna put them in a sifter, and then the righteous, the righteous, we're gonna keep the righteous, and over here, you're gonna pour his spirit out, and the spirit gonna fall on the righteous. Once the righteous gonna respond. The same thing over there with the sifter. Talking about the same thing. You see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I do. Thank you.
Okay. So with that being said, anybody got anything else before we go?
Shalom. I just want to add, is Ezekiel 41 still with the judgment of Israel when he brings them out? It says in Ezekiel 20, verse 41, I will accept you with your sweet savor when I bring you out from the people and gather you out of the countries wherein you have been scattered, and I will be sanctified in you before the heathen, and ye shall know that I am the Lord when I shall bring you into the land of Israel, into the country for which I lifted up my hand to give it to your fathers. And there shall ye remember your ways and all your doings wherein you have been defiled, and you shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for all your evils that you have committed. And ye shall know I am the Lord when I have wrought you for my name's sake, not according to your wicked ways, nor according to your corrupt doings, O ye house of Israel, saith the Lord God.
Okay, yeah. So like I said, it's all they're saying the same thing. You want to
Yes,
say what's going on, right? Yeah. Okay. So everybody good?
yes, sir.
So with that being said, I'm gonna say shalom, shalom, and another shalom. I see everybody on Tuesday night for our Israelite Advanced Bible Study. Shalom.
Shalom,
Shalom,
everyone.
everyone.
Glad to be back.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome.
Shalom.
I highly recommend that you get this book and you read it because it's a must that you understand who God head is in the order that's in the Old Testament and Tanakh, because it's not the same as in the New Testament. And when you read this and you get an understanding, then the scriptures open up and then you begin to understand. So I highly recommend that you get this book. It's the Elohim of Israel